What is up, Watch fam, and welcome to Rant&h. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and before we jump into today's episode, we'll do a quick wristwatch check. I am wearing a vintage Omega with this absolutely incredible chocolate black dial. Originally, it was born black, but it's aged to this beautiful chocolate color that I'm totally in love with. This watch was, if it's sold already, available in the watch shop at theoandharris.com. So we're actually uploading new watches tomorrow. Not this one, but 6 new incredible watches from Omegas to chronographs tomorrow on theoandharris.com. So please don't forget to check out the shop and act quickly because these things have been flying recently. So that's it. Let's get into today's episode. Okay, so today is going to be a genuine rant. I'm going to be in, out, I'm going to make my point. I'm going to be a little bombastic, and that's it. So let's do it. Casio is famous for durable watches. Casio is famous for durable watches that are unpretentious, that are very much so, no frills, just digital complications, in and out. It's beautiful. I love that. I love that they stick to these core principles of rubber, digital, simple. Sometimes now they're solar powered, and that's it. You move on. Their technology is, largely very, very good now. They were very good in the 80s. Now we look back on that and it's kind of simplistic and it's stupid. But they were always famous for being these digital forward thinkers, and I love that. I love that about them, and I love that they've stayed so true. They've evolved, but they've stayed so true to their kind of like inner core values. That's why when they released the watch I'm about to talk about, the first time, this is the second issue, I was just so confused and annoyed. And to me, I'm just so bored by the whole thing. I'm not even bored right now. I think I'll be bored in an hour about it. Right now, I'm just annoyed about it. Okay, so the watch is called the Hammertone, and it's a Casio G-Shock through and through. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of it or the technology behind it. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm not here to dispute the value, the horological value, not mechanical, but still horological value of this watch. What I want to talk about is how they've presented the watch, the case that they've put it in. They've done it in total alloy, and not only is it in this metal, but they're hammering. It's called Tsuki or Tsuki. I think Tsuki. I don't know. I could be totally wrong how I'm pronouncing it. Anna, please put the letters right here. It's an old Japanese art, and the artisan behind it has been in a Tsuki family for better half of 70 years. I know nothing about this artwork. I know nothing about this case finishing. To me, it looks pretty. I just genuinely cannot be a judge of Tsuki. I am not, a Tsuki expert. If I subscribed maybe to Tsuki Weekly, I'd be able to better assess the value here, in their execution of the Tsuki. But I'm not going to. What I'm going to talk about here is, one, the price, and two, the overall impact and impression that this watch leaves. The price is $6,200, which is an astronomical amount of money for a G-Shock. And of course, it's not just a standard G-Shock. You're paying here for the, for the Tsuki, for the metal and for the finishing. And I totally get that. I'm no stranger to that. I actually love brands that utilize case finishing, largely. I think that that's awesome. That's why I like the Royal Oak. Does it look great on my wrist? No. Will it ever look great on my wrist? Probably not. But I think that in a world, or in a watch world, where everyone's so focused on dials and that's it, and how to make the prettiest dial, it's super cool when you see someone just finish so well. To finish, and not just the movements, but to finish the case and the bracelet and everything just so well. To me, it's just beautiful. The whole watch becomes now a piece of art. I love crocodile straps. I love alligator straps. They're beautiful in a different way. But those are what I put on every watch. But I would never do that to a Royal Oak, because the whole point of it to me is to hold this bracelet in my hand, and to just touch the finishing. And that's why, to me, it's an interesting watch. So I'm no stranger to the value in case finishing, but at all. And I have no objection to it. But I have serious objection to it, when it's by, Casio. It makes no sense to me. It has no business being on a Casio. And once again, who the am I? I mean, I'm just, some kid on YouTube, and they're obviously Casio, so one of us is doing something very right here. Still, I think that I think I'm within my right and within reason to say that this totally abandons the core values. I mean, if you show this to someone who grew up, who has a serious place in their heart for Casio, they're not going to understand why this happened. And these are people that really understand the brand, right? I mean, like my dad, who remembers very fondly Casio. Casio played, and they'll talk about it, played a huge part in his horological childhood. He'd look at this and be like, what the what are they? They're just making it expensive now. There's probably enormous margin on Suki because no one knows what the fuck it is. No one has any value like assessment in their head, and they're just charging an astronomical price for it. I mean, or maybe it's a loss leader. What the hell do I know? But it's $6,200 as a retail product. To me, it's absolutely bizarre. How do I? And it's limited to 300 pieces. How do I think that it would have been okay and acceptable in my mind if it was just a very, very limited, not 300. I mean like 5 pieces. Limited for Casio executives, or maybe just one guy, one off, that was an homage to him and his personal interest and his dedication to Casio, as well as his personal interest in Suki. That's how I would meet those worlds. That makes sense to me. Thank you so much, Mr. Y, for your dedication to this company over the past 35 years. You are a part of the bedrock. We actually commissioned this watch for you because we know that these are the 2 things that you love most materially in the world. Casio, your brand, and Suki, your favorite art form. Thank you so much for your time. Go live in the countryside now. And now we're going to produce 4 more for other executives in your honor. Totally respect that. That, I would stand right here and say, like, Casio did it. That's a brilliant, thoughtful way to communicate with not just their inner circle, but with the world. That's Casio operating like a person, right? Not just like this company that produces stupid, overpriced, now metallic watches. That to me would be just this beautiful expression that would take an objective product, the same product, I wouldn't change it at all, and make it appealing to me. And not only make it appealing, make it awesome. Because that I can justify the meeting of the worlds there. But just because Casio is Japanese and Suki is Japanese, that's not enough to me. They are not interwoven enough for me to think that's okay. And frankly, if this was a parting gift for the CEO, it would be beautiful because it's the meeting of these 2 worlds, an ancient art and modern technology, right? The modern technology that wipes out ancient arts all in one thing. That to me, I love it. It's like a perfect narrative. It's like a poem, right? But the way they've done it as a retail product to sell to douchey people, and the watch is like 52 millimeters, okay? There's no wrist that this watch will look good on apart from like Sylvester Stallone, and you could pay him to wear anything, okay? So I'm sorry, I can't, I hope that my reasoning backed up my strong opinion, because I hate to just sit here and whine and bitch in front of you guys, but I think I explained myself well enough that justified my kind of like excited, utterance. So that's it. Casio, what the Thank you guys so much for watching Rant&h. Don't forget to check out the watch shop at theoandharris.com tomorrow.